Good day, good day. I hope you're well. Odessa here, Doctorate of Natural Medicine, Womb Wellness Coach. And today I wanted to talk with you all about your body, right? Your body will tell you what it needs to heal. So I'm here on Instagram and I'm here on Facebook and YouTube, and it's a pleasure to see all of you. It's a wonderful pleasure to be here. So I wanted to begin by prefacing that I work primarily with the womb. That is the work that I do, right? Womb wellness, that is the work that I do. And so I support women who are looking for peaceful periods and who are looking for successful pregnancies. So if you are working or if you are dealing with reproductive problems, sexual problems, that is a primary concern of mine. I also help practitioners, doulas, nurses, and health practitioners to understand how they themselves can support their own bodies, their own feminine bodies, and how they can support their female clients, their womb carrying clients, their egg carrying clients. Okay. And so the basis of the work that I do is really about teaching you how to listen to your body, how to become in tune with your body. We talk about, this whole embodying thing and, being present and, living in the light. But, who really understands that? You know what I mean? Like, this is a really big part of what humanity is talking about right now, but who really understands that? But so the crux of what it is that I'm teaching is really getting you to listen to what your body needs. Now, I want to preface this whole talk. I want to preface this whole episode by saying that traditional talk therapy can help, right? Traditional talk therapy can help you, but it isn't necessarily effective in the long term. Okay, so let's just be honest and call a spade a spade. Now, I know that I have psychotherapists on my timeline. I have friends, I have doctors who are friends, and you all are going to be listening to this, but this is the truth. Okay, psychotherapy and traditional therapy has no awareness of the bigger picture. Okay, I'm going to say this again. Traditional therapy has no awareness of the bigger picture. And what do I mean by this? So normally when you're going into traditional therapy, you're going into talk therapy, you're going to sit with your therapist. They're going to have the conversation with you about how your childhood holds the key and it's responsible for the traumas that you are living out right now. Right? Most of us have experienced this. I know I went to therapy at a young age. I started therapy at a young age based off of some very severe traumas that I had experienced. And so this is what I experienced as well too. They talk about your childhood responsibility, but I'm about to go deep into this, right? Because traditional therapy does not include past lives. It doesn't include culture. It doesn't include genetics. It doesn't include the subhuman, planetary, or other kinds of memories. Okay, I'm going right in. Okay, I'm no longer going to be hiding these pieces of myself and these parts of my work. Okay, now these parts of ourselves, because everybody has them, whether you are aware to them, hip to them, you know what I mean, and integrating them into your lives or not, we all have them. Okay, and these are frequently or usually partially or completely the cause of emotional traumas. Okay, and so traditional therapy purports that as long as you mentally understand, then you're okay. Right? But this is too limited in its view of the cause and cure because it doesn't include physical and emotional the aspects of the body and the brain. And therefore, it doesn't include the bigger picture. Okay, I remember sitting in therapy with, the therapist and going through the issues and talking about the issues, but there were experiences that I couldn't talk to them about. I couldn't talk to my therapist about the past lives that I'm experiencing. I couldn't talk to my therapist about the depth of the dreams that I'm having, about the downloads that I'm receiving from spirit. I couldn't explain to my therapist what was going on physiologically in my body. And trust me, I tried. I skirted the issue. I tried to address the issues. And it was always kind of like, oh, brush to the side type of thing. Focus on this right here, right now. Now, I need to make sure and mention as well, too. I know that there are people who are religious, and in your religious text, they talk about past lives. They talk about, your spiritual gifts. They talk about all of these things. And so my work as a womb wellness coach and my work as a, doctorate of natural medicine who focuses specifically on women's wellness and energy healing is about getting us to be more aware of these levels of our being and of our body as we're healing. Because when we talk about feminine healing, when we talk about these aspects of healing, of spirituality, we have to include these. When we talk about spirituality, most people will, relate it to prayer. We'll relate it to church. We'll relate it to religion. Nowadays, we'll talk about a little bit of meditation. We'll talk about self-care. We'll talk about, what kind of therapies you're doing to support yourself. But this goes really, really deep, okay? It goes really, really deep. When you sleep, you're traveling. When you're, daydreaming, you're traveling. There are experiences that you're having, something happens and your eye starts to twitch or your hand starts to itch or you're feeling something happening in your physical body. This is the work that I am including and I am validating while we are walking through the self-care and feminine healing training. Okay. So the body remembers everything. It remembers everything in utero. From the time of conception, it remembers everything. It remembers what happens post-birth in the postpartum phase, and it remembers everything pre-birth. Now, if we were to kind of back up a little bit and open this up some more, many of us will talk about, what you're receiving from your parents. You're receiving 7 generations of information on both sides. We talk about you're carrying, the blood of your ancestors inside of you. This is real. We live this. We live this every day, right? Our cell memory, our genetic memory, what is inside of us, it carries a memory of every single thing that has happened on the planet and in the universe. This is who we are. This is the multidimensional aspects of who we are. And this is what I include in my program. And the first phase of my program is called the Multidimensional Awareness and Assessment Protocol, because it is very important that you become attuned to your body, to your particular constitution, to how your tissues are made up, and the memory that is contained, the cell memory that is contained inside of your tissue based off of your genetic history and your lived experience. Okay? So you can talk your way through your issues. When you're going into talk therapy, when you're working with your psychotherapist, when you're working with your psychiatrist, you can talk your way through therapy and you can get your concrete mind to understand certain things. But that's just one level and one layer of it. There's the emotional, there's the astral, there's the causal, there's the karmic, there's the cosmic, there's the solaric, there's the monadic, there's the buddhic. There are so many layers of the mind and of the being that are not mentioned in traditional work. And why is this not mentioned in traditional work? When I say traditional, it's more Occidental. Because to be able to have the level of control that people have on us today, they had to separate the science and the spirit. Okay. And more specifically, when we talk about womb wellness and when we look at the resurgence of women really trying to remember, really trying to bring together their memories, really trying to, embody once again, who they are and get deeply in touch and communicate with those parts of themselves that are trying to wake up. We have to remember that it has been purposefully suppressed. When you look at religion, women have been downplayed. Women are dogged, okay? When you have your menstrual cycle, specifically, if you're looking at Christianity, you have to sit on a piece of fabric. You shouldn't be sitting on anything because you don't want your blood to touch anything. You can't go anywhere. You can't touch anyone. You can't talk to anyone. You shouldn't be doing certain things. You're looked upon a certain way if you don't cover your head, if you don't wear a skirt, if you're wearing something. You understand what I'm saying? This is how we are taught. Now, I remember listening to a show on CBC radio, and there was a woman from the English church. She was a very high-ranking woman. She had a very high-ranking position in the English church, and one thing she said, it stuck with me, and she said, the mystery in religion is not there because women have been removed. Okay. When we talk about the life-saving blood, however you're going to quantify that, we know for a fact that they are doing stem cell research on menstrual blood. A woman is the only being that can bleed every month, real blood, and live. Okay. I might be shaking up some people's boots today. I might be getting y'all to think differently. That's the role that I'm here to play. And so the importance of the multidimensional layered healing is really crucial. Now, in my program, in the work that I do, working with women who have their issues and working with women who want to support other women, we go through the process of understanding where you are in your emotional health. And let me just, kind of put this disclaimer and say that nobody is perfect. Okay. No therapist is perfect. Okay. Everybody has their own issue. Everybody has their shit that they're working through. Every doctor, every certified anybody has their thing that they're working through. And so if you think that the person who is helping you is perfect, or you expect the person that you are working through to be perfect, then you are wrong, and you must remove them off of that pedestal. What they should be doing is doing the work, authentically doing the work in a way that gives them the ability to communicate this to you so that you yourself are able to understand it and embody this in your own life. Okay, so the importance of our multi-layered living is crucial because I see this in the women who come to see me. Yes, it's possible to heal your body. It's possible to heal your hormones easily through changing how you eat, through changing your lifestyle, through sleeping better, through taking the appropriate herbs, through looking at whatever minerals you're deficient in and accruing the level that's needed to maintain optimal homeostasis. But what about those chronic experiences that you have? What about those chronic emotions that you're going through? What about those things that you're thinking and feeling? What about those experiences that you cannot quantify but are still there, and they might be attached to the physical illness that you're experiencing, and you may not even recognize this, right? And so here we are separating our physical experiences. Like, I have to heal my hormones and I have to heal my body because I want to have a baby, or I'm just tired of living the roundabout merry-go-round, cycles, menstrual cycles of pain and clots and mood swings and no sleep and, irritability. Right. And on the other side, I'm going to talk to someone through talk therapy about my emotional experiences. Right. Now, the thing is, the body will tell you what it needs to heal. That's the job of the body. When you're feeling a pain, it's because something has been happening long enough and you've been ignoring it long enough that it is now manifested in the body through a chronic experience, telling you, hey, guess what? You need to deal with this right now. But because of that split between science and spirituality, between the sentient being and the physical experience, we're going to go to the doctor to understand this part of ourselves, and then go to the therapist to talk about this part of ourselves. But what about the in-between? What about the in-between, right? So emotional traumas come from increased body awareness within affected areas, right? I didn't say that right. Emotional traumas happen in our body, and to heal them, they come from increased body awareness within the affected area. That is what I wanted to say. And so if you are experiencing these traumas within your body, and you have gone to the doctor to deal with one thing, and you've gone to your therapist to deal with something, but you're still living and experiencing these things within you, then you've got to understand that there's a level of awareness within your physical body that you need to embody, that you need to espouse, that you need to become aware of, so that you can address these other layers of trauma, these other layers of pain and discomfort that you're living with, because they're intrinsically connected. Okay. In women, the womb itself is a receptacle. Hey girl, I hope you're well. The womb itself is a receptacle, and it retains, right? It's a receptacle, right? It holds. Anything that holds is a receptacle, and it's considered to be a negative charge. It's negatively charged. So it carries memories of things. It carries memories of men. It carries lineages. It carries your babies, and it also carries your trauma. And so in the program, I talk about this in our heart breakthrough process. We go into, the healing emotional wounds and all these different things. And what we need to understand is that we're not trained or taught to be observant or obedient to your body's needs. We're not loyal to ourselves. You know that song, These Girls Ain't Loyal? These girls ain't loyal. Yeah, that's you. That's me. Right? We're not loyal to our bodies, because what happens? The body says you're too tired and you're like, I got to keep on pushing. The body says I can't do no more. And you're like, I have one more thing that I have to do. The body says I don't want to go there. And you're like, yeah, but I think I need to go there because that's where everybody is, right? The body says, hey, listen, I don't like these foods. And you're like, yeah, but it makes me feel good. The body says, hey, I really need you to do this and go here. And you're like, I don't want to get up. We are not loyal to ourselves. And this is where the disconnect happens. She says, stop talking about me, girl. Right? And this is what happens, because then we don't even create, we make the chasm bigger. That's what happens, because there's already the chasm that is made, the rift, the cliff, the space, the oceans apart that's made between, what we need and what we're actually giving ourselves. Because once again, we're not trained to be observant and to be obedient. Right? And then what happens? The body is asking you for all of these different things, and you're suppressing it because your concrete mind, not even your higher mind, your concrete mind is telling you what you think you need, right? And blocking out the reality of what is true for you. Okay. And so if we're limiting or blocking our awareness of an aspect of life, right? Because we suppress it. Oh, it's painful, right? Or we suppress it because it's a habit to do this. Like right now, I'm going through a 30-day tantra challenge, right? I'm going through a 30-day tantra challenge. And I can tell you, my partner, he's going through the challenge as well. But the issue that we're facing is that he is so used to whatever it is that he's used to doing. You know what I mean? Even in his regular nighttime routine, come in, do this, do that, then that, and that's the end of the night. You go to sleep. And it's like, okay, well, let's do these breathing exercises. Okay, let's do these different things. And certain things are just ingrained in the mind, right? It's like you have to train yourself, and you have to really consciously make the effort to do something. Because if you don't, you're going to go back into your habitual patterns. And so the painful experiences that you have will stop you from trying to deal with the issue. And the habitual patterns that you have are going to stop you from remembering to engage in this new aspect. So the organ or the body that's represented will tell us what it needs through disease. Let me repeat this again. The organ or the body part that is requiring our attention is going to tell us what it needs through disease. Okay. And so it's telling us that we need to stop limiting ourselves. Okay. Because physical disease needs to be understood for what it really is. It's a road for healing and evolution. Because if you're truly healing, right? If you're truly healing, you're going to change. If you're truly healing, you're going to change. You're going to change how you approach healing. You're going to change how you approach your food. You're going to change how you approach your relationships. You're going to change how you approach every aspect of your life. When you're putting the food in your body, when you sit down to eat, when you're preparing the food, if you're taking your herbs, if you're making a phone call, when you're deciding to communicate with somebody, when you're getting dressed, what you're choosing to dress, who you're hanging around with, where you're going. If you're truly healing, you're going to change. And that is the evolution. That is the process. Now, we talk about self-care and feminine healing in this program. That's the name of the program, but it is so crucial. It is so crucial that women begin to remember, and not just remember in the memory, right? But remember in the body. We're putting the pieces together. We talk often about the body of Christ. I was raised in a, Christian-esque environment before I myself gave myself permission to follow what it is that I needed to do, my innate abilities, because I've been experiencing things from since I was a child, since before the age of 7 years old, I was experiencing things. And I really, put myself into a box because I thought that that's where I needed to be. And within that box of religion, I did not give myself permission for myself to be. And so there were a lot of things that I was suffering through, a lot of things that I was experiencing that I could not understand, because within the scope of what I was given, I didn't see myself within it. I didn't fit into it. Right. But what really began to speak to me was understanding that within that quote unquote body of Christ, we talk about someone being the leg, someone being the arm. If you take this out of the religion and you look at it from a global planetary perspective, we are all experiencing, parts of the whole. We are all representing parts of the whole, and parts of the whole have been suppressed. Okay. And when we talk about the feminine energy has been suppressed. The emotional aspect of people in general, men and women, have been suppressed. But I talk specifically to the women because women are the first healers, the first nurturers, the first carriers, the first carers of the children. And if you heal a woman, you heal a nation. Right. And so this is why this importance is here for me. And so we see the illness, through the actual elements. And I talk about this deeper in the program. We see this through the elements, right? The emotions connect us to waters. And when we look at the waters on the planet, the waters are polluted. And when we ourselves begin to heal our emotional bodies, and we begin to heal the trauma, and we begin to recognize and connect it to our physical bodies, and really go into these layers and move beyond the habitual patterns and the painful, memories, right? Then we're really able to heal and start remembering ourselves and the planet in and of itself. Okay, we can easily balance the reproductive system once again through foods, through activities, through lifestyles. But the chronic emotional garbage, it needs to be cleared out. It needs to be acknowledged, and it needs to be cleared out. Right. And not just, sent out. And that's the other thing, oftentimes it's like breathe in love and breathe out your shit. No, what happens? Because you're putting it in the environment, the air, the pollution in the air connects to our own experiences and our thoughts. The mind connects us to the air. The emotions connect us to the water. It is all connected. It is all connected. And when we recognize this, when we get a hang of this, when we accept this in ourselves and we give ourselves permission to hear and listen, this is how we are fully able to heal. Okay. And this is what I teach within the program. We go through what it means to heal emotional trauma, to first of all, recognize what emotional trauma is and to heal those emotional wounds. We go into clearing rage, fear, and guilt. These are very primary emotions that people will feel. And this will hold you. Rage, fear, and guilt. Oh my gosh, these things will hold you hostage forever. Okay. If you do not know how to work through them, these are the basics. We have our primary emotions, we have secondary and tertiary emotions that we're experiencing. Right. And so we also address we address unresolved and incomplete relationships in the program. And I get you to understand how to connect to the heart, how to be in the heart, how to meditate from the heart, how to live from the heart, how to connect to other people from the heart, how to see through the eye of the heart, how to hear through the heart, how to speak through the heart, because the heart is the great equalizer. Okay. And so when we understand living from a multidimensional perspective, right, we have developed and we're learning how to develop. We're learning how to develop body awareness. And by developing body awareness, this is how you are actually able to embody that awareness. And so when things come up in your body, you are more apt to pay attention to it rather than push it down as, oh man, this is just something that, is happening and I can slug it out. I can work it out. I've done it before. Like I can keep on functioning. I just got to get to this. We don't want to live like that anymore. This is not what this is about. This is about really being present too, because I can guarantee I've seen it in my life. I've seen it in the healing groups that I facilitate, and I'm seeing it in the participants who are in the program that I am running right now, the 2 tiers of the program that I'm running right now. When you allow yourself to go through the process of healing, when you give yourself to experience a life beyond the painful, life beyond the traumatic, When you allow yourself to tap into the multidimensional awareness and assessment protocols that are available to you, you on your own will begin to change the environment around you. You on your own begin to radiate, and you begin to change those around you by virtue of being. And that is what I'm here to teach. And that is what I'm here to share. And that is what I want to encourage you to do. And so, just bringing it back to the beginning, your body will tell you what it needs to heal. But are you listening? Are you giving yourself permission to hear? Are you giving yourself permission to acknowledge what you hear? Are you giving yourself permission to accept what you've heard? And are you giving yourself permission to do what needs to be done for you to reach those levels and those heights that you're striving for? And so I want to leave you with that. I want to leave you with these thoughts. I want to leave you with these words and invite you to go back and listen to it. Comment below. Let me know what your biggest takeaways are. This is a great journal prompt. Yes, thank you. I'm glad that, it's helpful for you, because that's the whole point, right? Like we need to be in these deeper places of reflection. We need to be addressing the harder things, because it's easy to go over the same things over and over again. Dear diary, it's me again, right? So going deeper in and really giving yourself to sit in the discomfort. We don't like to sit in discomfort. We are trained to be counter discomfort because we think that it's never going to end. But the truth is that when you go into it, it will crescendo and eventually it will disappear and you become more transparent. And then you begin to respond rather than react from the trigger. And so once again, it's about embodying and knowing how to navigate. Ain't nobody perfect. So y'all can take that out your mind, right? Because there are levels to this and layers to this. So if you're interested in finding out more about the work that I do, I want to invite you to just click on the link in my bio and book a suitability call with me. We can just have that conversation about where you are on your healing journey and how you got to where you are, and just really observe the gaps in your wellness. I'll send you a womb health assessment. It takes 40 minutes to fill it out. You can fill it in and bring back your scores, and we can have that conversation on our suitability call. And so based off of that, I'm wishing you all a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Take care. Be well. Happy new moon. I'm out.